Hi guys, welcome back to Gossip Committee. I am so excited to have you guys here listening today because it is a very special episode. And I think I'm going to say that every time I have a guest on because I just love the people that I have on so much. Obviously, I'm not going to have anybody on that I don't like. And you might have even already hear her little bling in the background. She has like the loud jewelry. So the person that I'm having on is known as, I don't know, I guess we could say a real estate mogul who's been in the business, the real estate industry for over 30 years now, which is insane to say. She is the most recognized voice and face in real estate video, and she is in the top 3% of real estate agents globally. So something she's been doing longer than real estate and TikTok is play her role as my mother. Everybody welcome Glennda Baker.
Let me scoot in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, so this is Gossip Committee.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have to wear your headphones, and I didn't think you would.
I'm not going to.
Okay. Yeah, we can't mess up the big pageant hair, guys.
Technically, it's not really that big today. I tried to straighten it for you.
Okay.
Do you want me to pull my mic closer?
Yes, I just don't want it to be in front of your face.
Okay. You don't want to cover my pretty face, right?
No, absolutely not. Are you comfortable?
I'm fabulous. Are you comfortable?
Yes, I
Do you want
am.
me to keep these here? Or would you like for me to remove these?
Yeah, we might as well remove those.
They look a tad bit clunky.
They are.
Okay, just wait 1 second, please. Stand by, Darius. Okay. All right. I'll put them right here so I don't knock them off. Okay, are you good with that?
I'm good with that. Are you good with that?
I am amazing.
It's all about you today.
I know, believe it or not, I've done this once or twice before.
I was going to say, this obviously isn't your first podcast.
No. In fact, I'm a little bit hurt that it took you so long to invite me, but that's a subject for another time.
Well, no. First of all, I've only had one person on, and that was literally 2 weeks ago. And I had to have my husband on before I had you on.
I gave life to you.
Okay.
In order of importance, I should be ahead.
True, but don't take it personally. Take it as a compliment because I had to make sure that this was a real thing. I didn't want to have you on anything that I wasn't like super proud of, and I am. So
You're doing a great job. I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But so you've been on plenty of podcasts,
yes.
but this is Gossip Committee.
Okay.
So it's going to be a little bit different. You know, anybody can go on YouTube and watch a podcast of you talking about how you got started in the real estate industry.
Correct.
And that's great. And I definitely do want to talk about business.
Okay. But first.
But, you know, outside of Gossip Committee, you're probably the person that I gossip with the most. So it only makes sense that you're here.
Do you know that your phone is on?
Oh, is it? Sorry.
Is.
I didn't even notice.
I know, I did.
It's on silent now.
And so I think it's important for everybody to know that I have absolutely no idea what we're going to talk about. So part of my deal, anytime that I do an interview or a podcast, is I do not want to know the content that we're going to discuss or have any prearranged questions. So I haven't given Victoria any questions and she hasn't given me any. So this is kind of like a mother-daughter chat, I'm assuming.
That's exactly how I want it to feel.
Okay.
It's just us gossiping about life.
Typically, we don't have the microphones in front of us, but it's okay. It's no problem. It's
right. I mean, we're not going to give all the tea.
Let's pretend like we're at Cracker Barrel.
Okay. Minus the crazy children.
Thank God.
I know.
I'm sorry. I love them. I do love them.
We love them.
But let's just be honest. I mean, it's impossible to have a conversation with a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old.
We don't have conversations when they're around.
No, we don't.
Okay.
Where are we going, Vic?
I guess for like the people that don't know you, just give a quick rundown of like who you are and what you do.
My name is Glennda Baker, and I am a real estate agent in Atlanta, Georgia. I have been selling real estate since Jesus was a baby. So as Victoria said, over 30 years. In fact, I started in real estate in September of 1992 when Victoria was 11 months old.
That's insane.
You were still in your carrier. I would take you to my office in your carrier and put you on my desk.
That's so crazy. Why did you originally get into real estate agents? Because you had an 11-month-old and you were like, I need to make money?
Well, I designed and manufactured ladies' clothing here in Atlanta. And I was tired of doing that business. It was really, they were mean. And it was just cutthroat. And I didn't see the longevity in it. And my mom told me to go be a real estate agent. And she said, Pumpkin, it'll be flexible and you got this baby and I think this will work out well for you. And it really did. It really, really did.
Were you immediately amazing at real estate, or did it take some time to really get in the groove?
So I was officially licensed. So back in the olden days, 30 years ago, you went down to Georgia State University. You took the test with a pencil and a piece of paper, and it took about 2 weeks to get your score back. And so I was officially licensed on September 4th of 1992, and by December, I was agent of the month.
That's so crazy. So basically, it was your destiny to be a real estate agent.
I think probably so. My mom loved real estate, and hours and hours and hours of driving around Atlanta and looking at beautiful houses and different areas of Atlanta. That was our Saturday and Sunday. That and the flea market. We'd get up every weekend morning, Saturday and Sunday. We'd go to breakfast, typically at Cracker Barrel or IHOP or Waffle House, and not too early because Momo didn't like to get up too early. And then we would go for a ride. Pumpkin, let's go for a ride. And we would do antiquing and go to flea markets. And Momo had a booth at the flea market at one time. And then we would just look at houses. So I think you're right. I think I was destined to be in real estate because it doesn't even feel like work to me, honestly. And a lot of times when I drive through the neighborhoods that were my mom's favorite, it's almost like I'm driving through with her.
That's sweet. And she was also the first something builder. What was that?
So my mom worked for a builder developer. So Mr. Moore had been an attorney here in Atlanta for many, many years. And he bought some property and developed it. And he bought, in fact, and I don't even know if you know this, there is a townhouse community at 41 and Delk Road, right by the Cracker Barrel where we go to, by Franklin Gateway, called Ashboro Village. And the builder developer that my mom worked for built those. And my mom oversaw all of the construction and the bookkeeping and getting the contractors paid. And she did that for Mr. Moore. He built Singleton Woods, Singleton Valley. He built Coleman Hills, Coleman Farms, which is now Roswell Farm off Coleman Road. So, and this is way, way, way back. So back in the 70s and 80s, my mom was a really interesting woman. She brought me down to Atlanta from Chattanooga. I was born in Chattanooga. And she brought me down to Atlanta in February of 1969. So I had just turned 2 in December. And in February, we moved here. And nobody would hire my mother because she had a small child. And there was an ad in the newspaper, and Mr. Moore gave my mom a job as his bookkeeper. And she worked side by side with Mr. Moore until his death in 1981. And then she worked for his wife up until the point that she passed away.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
in 1996.
Okay. Was her mom in the real estate industry at all?
Momo's mother?
Yes.
No. My grandma never worked.
Okay.
So, and I don't even know if you know this. Granddaddy was born in 1899, and Granny was born in 1901.
Oh my gosh.
And so I think a lot of people don't really realize, because my mom was 43 when I was born, which was like ancient
Right.
back then.
Right.
So you only know her as super old.
I mean, I didn't think that at the time, but now looking back.
Yeah, because think about it. When you were born, mommy would have been, 43, maybe 67, almost 70.
Yeah, because she was 73 when I died.
Yeah.
I mean, when she died.
Yeah, when she died, when she passed away, yeah.
Yeah. So she got started in the real estate industry first then, and then you kind of followed in her footsteps in a different area.
Right.
So it only makes sense for me to keep the tradition going.
Well, to be honest, I can't imagine you not being a real estate agent. Mm-hmm. It just, and maybe it's presumptuous on my part, but I know your character and your integrity and your loyalty and your attributes. So for me, it's easy to see that you would make an amazing real estate agent, and how much you care about people, and kind of how much of a homebody you are. You've always, like, I remember in your room in Bentley Park, we painted it. You painted it. You wanted it painted this lavender ice color, and everything was purple, and you took so much pride in picking out everything. The bedspread at JCPenney's, it was satin with crystals on it. And then in your room at Austin Lake, and it was this like Pepto-Bismol pink. I think it was called pink bubble gum, and chocolate brown. So I feel like you've always kind of been very possessive and very what is the word I'm looking for? You've always, like, your area, your home, your space has always been a very significant place of importance to you. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that real estate would just has always been perfect. And you've been licensed since how long? 6 or 7 years, maybe?
I think since 2000, either end of 17 or 2018.
That can't be right, Vic.
It is, because Callie was born in 2019 and I was...
Yeah, but we made the move to Berkshire Hathaway in March of 2016.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm almost positive.
Wow.
And I think you were working for me as my assistant at that point. Mm-hmm. So in my head, you were licensed in May of 16.
Okay. Well,
either way.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, I definitely hadn't grown into myself yet.
Yeah. And I had definitely pushed you into an arena where, number one, I don't think you were comfortable, and number two, you didn't want to be there.
I just wasn't confident in myself yet.
Yeah.
And I was still, like, trying to figure out what I wanted, who I was, what I was doing. And I don't think I really figured that out until I had children, because when you have children, like, I feel like you just become your most raw form of who you are. And I think being able to see myself in a very endearing, warm area of my life made me realize that, wait, I actually do love myself, and I actually do love the kind of person I am. And before that, I didn't really get to, like, see how much love I had, even though I've always loved people, and I loved Lucas for so long before I had kids,
and so deep.
Right. But yeah, I just hadn't grown into myself. And now that, and I've talked about it on the podcast before and a couple episodes back, that I have officially decided to go back to real estate, and that I feel really good about it, just with where I am mentally. And that's happened very, very recently. I've grown up a lot in the last couple of years, but it's taken, the past, like, month or two, I guess probably a couple of months, for me to get into the mindset of, okay, real estate, I don't have to think of it how I thought of it before.
Yeah, I think before it was a chore for you. Mm-hmm. And I think that now that you have children, nothing makes you understand your own reality and your own mortality like children. Number one. And so I think that you've grown as a person, as your role as in your role as a mother. But I think that the near death experience that you went through last year, people don't go through, and I include myself, what we went through last year with Lucas's accident without being changed. It's just, there's no other way to say it. I am so blessed. If you're not a believer, if you don't believe in miracles, if you don't believe in a higher power, I want people to live through his testimony of life, that somehow, some way, that child survived. And watching you live through that, I had the opportunity to be with you when you went into labor with Milo. I met you at the hospital. I stayed there with you. I watched you in the fetal position of the floor of the hospital, hurting so bad. But there wasn't anything in my life that could have made me more proud than the way that you, and I say it many times, that you are a saint and a soldier. The way you loved him back to life forever changed my view of you as a person, as a woman. Because I watched you talk to him. I watched you sing to him. I watched you protect him, rub him. And I have never seen that kind of love that you had for him. And you would spend the day there at the hospital. And then you would come home and be an amazing mother to your children. And so, and not one time, never, not one time were you resentful or why me? You said, okay, this is the situation that I'm in, and this is what I'm going to do. And you never, ever wavered. Never. You were never weak. You never broke down. You never second guessed. And I remember, I can see you with your glasses on, and you turned around and you looked at me and you said, we're going to get through this. And you don't know, because I haven't shared this with you before. But when you turned around and you looked at me and you said, we're going to get through this, Mom. He's going to be fine. He's going to come back to me. When you were little, and the last day that we went to see my mom, we were walking into the ICU, and you had picked these flowers from the garden at the hospital. And you were walking into ICU, and the nurse stopped you, and we'd been there 11 days, and she said, oh, Victoria, you can't bring those in. And you cut your eyes around, and you looked at that woman, and you said, my Momo's going to heaven to live with Jesus today, and I need to give her these flowers. And when you turned around and looked at me when Lucas was in the hospital, it was that same look, that same resolve, that same tone of voice, almost like God had spoken to you. And I remember when you said that to me, and I was like, well, she knew that Momo was going to heaven to live with Jesus, and she knows that Lucas is going to make it through. I'm going to listen to her.
Yeah, it can. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing and crying already on Gossip Committee.
My gosh, I've already messed up my makeup.
I didn't even have to poke you.
No.
You just did it on your own, and I love that. Everybody here knows that I love for people to express themselves organically, and I appreciate you being able to do that. But it's true when you say that you feel like God spoke to me, that can be the only way I survived what happened.
Absolutely.
Because when I think about it now, looking back, I'm like, how was I so okay? Like, because now I have him here with me. We have conversations, like real conversations, and like I'm not missing any part of him. Like, he's here.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he wasn't.
Oh God, no.
Like, and it was unknown as to if he would ever be back this way.
Oh, I mean, we
for so long.
We spent probably, I would say, the first 2.5 days not knowing if he, like the doctors had told you, like, we don't know if he's going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we spent, I feel like it was like 2.5 days where I felt like that he just wasn't going to make it. And I'm over here thinking to myself, okay, what can I do? How can I fix this? How can I solve this? How can I go into survival mode? And I, as I said, I'll never, ever, as long as I live, I remember the dress you were wearing when we walked into that ICU. And you looked at that nurse and you said, I need to give these to my Momo because she's going to go to heaven and live with Jesus today. And that nurse said, okay, Victoria, you go right ahead. And you went in and you put those flowers in my mom's hand. And she was in a coma. She had suffered a coma, suffered a stroke on the table during heart surgery, and she had been in a comatose state for 11 days. And you said that, and within 6 hours she passed away. And so when you turned around, when you were sitting there by Lucas's bed and you said that to me, I never questioned that you were right, that he was going to make it.
Well, if I didn't tell you already, like, obviously you were there for me the most in that moment, and everybody knows you're very, very, very busy, not just with real estate, but with being a TikTok influencer and just social media person. So you were able to clear your schedule pretty much every day to be there for me. So I'm really appreciative for that. And
well, Victoria, it was amazing to me. Hundreds of messages. People that donated and sent food, and I mean, just were whatever I needed. And real estate is not a job for me. Real estate is my life. And people think, oh, real estate is about houses. Real estate isn't about houses. Real estate's about people.
mm-hmm.
And real estate agents from across the country came to my rescue, sent messages, sent notes, sent prayers. I mean, just thousands of prayer groups around the world with real estate agents that only knew me from social media, only knew me from conferences, only knew me as Glennda, the real estate agent in Atlanta. But because of social media and I guess my willingness to share my life and my family, my flaws and my faults, those people feel like they know me. I'm their friend. I'm their sister. I'm Aunt Glitter. Like, they feel like that they're part of my family. And honestly, they are.
And then they follow me too and like all of my stuff. And I'm like, do I know you? And they're like, oh, I totally know you.
Yeah.
Even one of Lucas's nurses was like, you look really familiar. And then it ended up that he followed you on Instagram. And I was like, oh, the ICU nurse. Okay.
Gina, it's amazing. People say to me, do people recognize you out? There isn't a day that somebody doesn't say, are you on TikTok? Always. And it's funny because people will go to Lucas's work and they'll say, aren't you Glenda's son? Can we take a picture? And they'll send it to me.
Okay, nobody's asked me for a picture yet. What the fuck?
And they'll send it to me. It is so funny that real estate agents, or Lucas will say, oh, my mom's in real estate. And they'll say, oh, who's your mom? And he'll say Glennda Baker. And they'll be like, Glennda Baker's your mom?
Yeah, I'm glad that we're transitioning into this part of your life, because this is kind of new. You've been on TikTok for how long now?
A little over 2 years.
Okay, and when did it like blow up?
We were at the beach.
That's when it blew up?
Well, okay, so
was that your Jay-Z video?
No, so in March I had I had the Sell the Wrong House video.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Then I had the buy the cheapest house in the nicest neighborhood. Then I had the total cost to own Evander Holyfield analogy. And then I had the Jay-Z video. So I had 4 videos that had done well. So
where's the Once Upon a Time I Sold a Big Ass House?
Haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, got it.
So I had 4 videos between January, February, March that had kind of gotten some momentum. And I remember this because we were like right here, and it was Callie's birthday. So it was February 6th, 2021. And Christian and Lauren were here, and they were talking about doing a TikTok dance. And I said, oh, I'm on TikTok. And Christian laughed. And he goes, really, show me your TikTok. Mm-hmm. And I had 32,600 people on February 6, 2021. And so I had those 4 videos, January, February, March. They were kind of spaced out. And then we were at the beach in May. And I posted Once Upon a Time I Sold a Big Ass House.
While we were at the beach?
While we were at the beach.
Okay.
And my life forever changed on that one video.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, on that one video.
So,
and I wonder if the person that was connected to that sale saw that video, because I've lost touch with that person. But I often wonder if he's ever seen that video, or if he's ever seen any of the videos. And I wonder what he thinks about them, because several of...
was this somebody you dated?
A
fling? A hookup?
He was definitely someone that I had a personal relationship with. I have really tried to not get involved with people that I worked for or worked with personally in a dating relationship with them. I just feel like mixing business and pleasure just has a tendency not to go well. And I remember when I was out at Tongue and Groove, and I was with some of my girlfriends, and they said, what is your type, Glennda? And I said, see that guy right there? That guy right there, head to toe, top to bottom, front to back, that guy is my type. And they're like, what is it about him? And I said, he holds himself with power. It's a humble confidence. He's crispy and, he's, obviously handsome and distinguished. And they're like, And so we dance. I go to the bathroom and I come back from the bathroom and the guy walks over to me and he goes, I hear you like my shoes. And because I had made the comment to my girlfriends, I said, look at those shoes. They're fabulous. He goes, I hear you like my shoes. And I said, I do like your shoes. And he goes, I'll buy you a drink if you know what kind they are. I said, I've got a feeling you'll buy me a drink anyway. And, it was so funny because he asked me, he goes, do you have a business card? And I said, sure. And I was real estate, and I gave him my real estate card. And he goes, I've been thinking about selling my house and buying another one. And I looked at him and I said, if I had all of the commission from every guy who used that line, I'd be sitting on a beach in Tahiti. And it was funny.
I've heard that line before.
Yeah, it was funny because he gave me his business card and I stuck it in my purse and didn't really think anything about it. And the next day he called me and wanted to take me out. And, every time I think about Bill, they are...
Oh, you just name dropped.
Oh, sorry. It doesn't matter. I mean, he knows, Bill knows that I have the fondest of memories with him. Just, he was such an amazing person. And
you actually dated him when I was younger.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years old. And probably your most vivid memory of Bill is going to Toys R Us. Mm-hmm. He loved to take you to Toys R Us, but he was an amazing man. And probably I wasn't mature enough, confident enough to realize what an amazing person he was. I definitely didn't appreciate him when I was with him the way that I would today. So such an amazing person. But I've had the opportunity, Victoria, to date really well and really bad and everything in between. And I have always struggled with that section of my life, and it's difficult to talk about because you're like, oh, she's such a badass real estate agent. She's like a TikTok star. She's got everything going for her, and her personal life, she's like a disaster.
I wouldn't say you're a disaster. I wouldn't say that at all. And I don't think anybody's dating life is easy. Oh. I think you have to go through bad dating relationships and good ones and all in between to figure out what you really like. Especially as you get older, you don't start actually knowing what you want and what you like until you're at least like 40 probably.
Well,
I still am like, I don't like this about you, but we'll make it work.
Change. People change.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that in itself, but there's a reason, a season, and a lifetime of people, and I feel like that. I've been so incredibly blessed, for the most part, with the relationships that I've been in.
Speaking of dating, you said that when you saw Bill, he was like totally your type. Is that still your type, or has it changed at all? Like, what is your ideal man look like on paper?
Gosh. I would still go back to Bill, head to toe, top to bottom, front to back, is definitely my avatar. He handsome and tall and crispy and educated, and oh gosh, we had amazing conversations about life and politics, and I learned so much from him. So I would say that in a partner, and today at 56, that's what I'm looking for, is a partner that I can that I can be of value to. I think in at this age, no matter whether it's business or personal, I'm really seeking relationships where I can be valuable to that person. And also that there is an ease and enjoyment in the relationship. So it's definitely been a struggle. The social media has added a layer of complexity that I was definitely not ready for. Being out on a date and the server recognizing me, or walking in and someone walking up and saying, oh my gosh, I follow you. And it just kind of freaks out the person. But what I found, and this is really interesting, is what I found is that most of them Google me. So they know.
I think everybody Googles the person that they're about to go on a date with these days.
To know, I do not Google anybody.
Oh, you don't?
I don't.
You just background check them. It's not any different.
Yeah, basically. But I don't Google anybody because I don't want a preconceived notion.
Okay.
But I do run everybody through like a safety app, just because there have been a couple of incidents where, actually 3 specifically, where I probably put myself in a very unsafe situation. Mm-hmm. And so I've just tried to be a little bit more cautious. But I don't want to Google anybody because I don't want to have a preconceived notion about them. I want to organically learn about someone, and I want to do that. And again, it's difficult for me because they'll Google me and they'll say, once upon a time I sold a big ass house, or karma's a bitch and so am I, or they'll see stuff like that, and they want to go out with Glennda, the TikTok star. Mm-hmm. And everybody's intentions aren't in my best interest. And it's hard for me to believe that. Mm-hmm. I don't want to believe it.
Right.
I don't want to believe it. I think, I say every morning, my name is Glennda Baker. Only amazing things happen to me. My name is Glennda Baker, and I'm a woman of action. And my name is Glennda Baker, and everybody who I see today will love me. And I just, all day long, I think about those 3 things. And I just honestly believe that the only people that will be a magnet to me will be people that have my best intentions at heart. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to change. I put stuff on the internet about myself. I've been married 3 times. I've, haven't been great with money all of my life. I've made horrible, horrible mistakes and bad decisions, but they've shaped me into the person that I am today. And for better or worse, it is what it is. My friend Justin says, it's not good, it's not bad, it just is. Mm-hmm. And that's that's the truth. I mean, it really is. It's not good, it's not bad, it just is. So you got to work with what you've got, and that's what I'm doing.
Do you think you're looking for, and you said it already, and you've said it on videos yourself, that you've been married 3 times. Are you looking for a 4th husband, or are you just looking for like a companion to hang out with?
I don't know that I'll ever get married again.
Okay.
Victor, your father, was my first love. There was a purity and an innocence about the relationship with Victor, and the way I loved him was indescribable. And, you know, with Wilson, there was this fire and passion, Lucas's dad. And, you know, Lucas is a part of him. And so I will always have fond memories of the time that we were together. But the last time that I was married, the things that were revealed through the divorce process hurt me and probably damaged me beyond repair.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is if you get cut really bad, you're always going to have that scar. And I know because I've had back surgery and I have a scar, that area is sensitive when someone touches it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that back surgery in 1980.
Mm-hmm.
So, and even to this very day, if someone touches it, it's sensitive. And I liken my third marriage to this scar that is just etched in my soul. And to know that I was always a calculated risk from the beginning, that there wasn't this crazy love for me, there wasn't this excitement about building a life together, that I was literally a line item on a spreadsheet, as were you and Lucas to this person. It just hurt me, and it made me doubt my selection process and decision-making process.
How long were you in that relationship for?
15 years.
Do you feel like you, by the end of it, you were in a relationship with somebody that you actually didn't know?
I didn't know them. I didn't know that person. The person that was presented to me was not the person that was. And in fact, I feel adamantly that I shouldn't even have to count number 3. Mm-hmm. Because I was so targeted, literally targeted, that I don't even feel like I should have to count it. And the discovery during the divorce process just wounded me. So,
the good news is it's over.
Yeah, it's over. And I have to tell you, so there was a point, so this started in November of 2020, and with no kids and very separate assets, this could have been over in a matter of, days. And this drug on for over a year. And we went to this mediation, and in the mediation,
you're talking about the divorce process.
Yeah, in the divorce process. We go to this mediation, and the mediator comes back to me and my attorney and says, this guy's never going to settle. He came back to my attorney and me, and he goes, you need to get this on the calendar for trial as quickly as possible because this guy will never settle. Mm-hmm. And I remember walking out of there, and my girlfriends had set up dinner for us at my favorite restaurant, Little Alley in Roswell. And I didn't think I was going to be able to go, but I went because I knew that they were not going to take no for an answer. I came home from that dinner, and I got in my bed, and I laid in my bed. That mediation was on Thursday, and I did not move until Tuesday.
Dang.
I didn't eat. I got up and went to the bathroom. I didn't brush my teeth. I didn't brush my hair. I drank water and went to the bathroom and laid in that bed and cried from Thursday night until Tuesday morning. And I woke up on Tuesday morning, and it was literally like I had been possessed by Glennda Baker. I mean, I woke up Tuesday morning, and I called my attorney, and I said, get us on the calendar. and whatever it takes. I told her, I said, I don't care how much money it costs me, whatever it takes. I'm never, ever going to give in. I said, we'll go to trial. It doesn't matter to me. And it was that moment, just like when I stopped drinking, it was literally, I remember when I stopped drinking, I went to bed that night, and the next day when I woke up, it was like I was possessed. It was like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Like the person that was there before was gone. Mm-hmm. And so that happened with me with drinking. That happened with me with that divorce. And it changed the person that I was. But it was the best. To live through that made me so much stronger. Mm-hmm. I mean, it made me, and most people don't know. So I started recording the TikTok videos and posting them in October of 2020. Mm-hmm. November of 2020, I moved out of my marital residence, primary home, mm-hmm. into a rental property. And all through the time that I'm filming those videos, I'm going through this horrific divorce. Mm-hmm. I mean, crazy shit going on. Like you know.
Yeah, I was about to say,
you were there. We would talk about something in the house, and then all of a sudden it would, remember that?
Yeah.
It was so crazy. It was, I remember I was talking to Vicky on my friend Vicky on my phone, and we were talking about the utilities and some different stuff with this rental house, and I hang up the phone, and within 4 minutes he calls her, and she's like, Glennda, like mm-hmm. something is going. I mean, it was so crazy. There are so many crazy stories I could tell about that, but we won't take any more time with that.
Yeah, no. It's,
you were there. You saw it firsthand, and you were one of the only people that I shared with you when that marriage was breaking down. Mm-hmm. How unhappy I was and how I was struggling. So I shared with you and my friend Martha Stevens and my friend Vicky and my friend Deanna. So I had told 4 people, I guess about 2 years prior to the separation, how bad things were.
Yeah, and I think that's important to talk about because, like you said, you were in that relationship for 15 years. Obviously, you spent a couple years in the ending of it being miserable and unhappy. Yeah. And now, and obviously, during that period, you weren't the best version of yourself.
Oh, no.
And now you're thriving. And I remember being on the phone with you sometimes and you being like, I can't get divorced for a 3rd time. Like, I'm just going to stick it through. But you gained the strength to do what you needed to do to get out of it and be the best version of yourself. And I think it's important to talk about because I think there's a lot of people that are in relationships where they're very, very, very unhappy and they're miserable and they think about the hard part of like ending it and having to go through that separation, figuring out a different place to live, just all of the things that happen when you're very intimately involved with a human and you have to separate things. It's hard. That part's not easy. No. But was it worth going through all of that period of hard time to get to where you are now?
Oh my gosh. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Because I definitely wouldn't be sitting here on this podcast had I stayed married. Mm-hmm. Because he would have shut down that whole, once things started to get going, he would have shut that down. Mm-hmm. Because I had been approached to be on television shows prior to this social media explosion. And he was like, absolutely not. Mm-hmm. You're not doing that.
Right.
So he would have shut this down and I would have just been, selling real estate. But what was so interesting was when we would travel, I had a social media presence when I was married to him. When we would travel, he would use my social media accounts to get upgrades in rooms and better tables and perks and all kinds of stuff. Oh, my wife's real big on social media. And so it totally cracks me up. But I mean, I think that, I drank. I had struggled with my drinking for a while before that, but there was no time that it was as bad as when I was married. Mm-hmm. And part of that was to cope with the situation that I was in, because it was very clear immediately when we got married that things were not as they appeared. Mm-hmm. And you're right. I said, and that was one thing that he said to me, constant through our marriage was, what are you going to do? Divorce me because you'd be a 3-time loser? Do you think anybody would want you? And
that doesn't even sound real. So,
well, I was shamed like that for so long that when I did meet somebody, I didn't want them to ask me, how many times have you been married, or how long have you been divorced, or because they back into it. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, so how old are your kids? 31 and 22. Oh, okay. How long were you married? 15 years. Oh, so your husband your ex-husband isn't the father of your children? No, we didn't have any children together. Oh, how many times have you been married? So the way that they back into it, still, I mean, I dated some guy, this is 2023, so I dated this guy this year, and I never told him. He never asked me directly, and I never told him, because there's still a level of shame. And, this is the thing, is that he had been married, I don't know, 20 something years. And he told me he'd been miserable the entire time that he'd been married. Mm-hmm. Shortly after, the first 2 or 3 years were fine, but after that he had lived absolutely miserably. And I thought to myself, what is better, the badge of honor that you stayed in a miserable marriage, or the fact that you've been divorced 3 times, which is worse? And the bottom line is that neither of them are better or worse. And like my friend Justin says, it's not good, it's not bad, it just is. Mm-hmm. And so, I always put out there that I've been married 3 times, and if it works for people, it does, and if it doesn't, it's fine too. I'm not looking for a 4th husband, and I'm not looking for somebody. I'm in an amazing position because I don't need anybody to complete me. I don't need anybody to entertain me. I don't need anybody to give me financial stability or emotional stability. I am very fortunate that I love my life. I love my kids, and my kids love me. I get to hang out with them a lot. And, I have a life. I've created a life that I love. And, that next person, if there is one, the good news is that anybody that I'm with, they'll know that it's purely because I love them.
Mm-hmm. And I think they just need to add to your life.
Yeah, absolutely. But people, I want to be valued, and I want to be with someone that I value. Mm-hmm. And I think that adding to your life takes many different forms. Mm-hmm. It was funny. I think remember I said to you, I went out with this guy, and I said to you, I said, he hates basketball. Mm-hmm. And
Red flag.
This was the first guy that I went out with after getting divorced, and and the guy's 6'2", super handsome, beautiful blue eyes. I mean, tan, and he's the avatar for sure. And he goes, "What do you like to watch on television?" I said, "Well, I don't really watch television." I said, "But I said, except for sports and Dancing with the Stars." And he goes, "What's your favorite sport?" Because he loved college football, which a lot of people in the South do. He goes, "What's your favorite sport?" I said, "NBA." He goes, "I hate basketball." And I remember calling you the next day and you said, "How did your date go?" And I said, "He hates basketball." And you go, "Please tell me you're going to put a stop to this right now."
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we both love basketball.
I love basketball. You know what? And I've really, my stars and stripes. I've really kind of gotten into baseball as of late. I haven't really been into baseball, but I will tell you, I go with my friend Amelia, my good friend Orlando, who owns Atlanta Peach Movers. He has amazing tickets to the Braves game, and he is very generous with me and lets me use his tickets from time to time. And my girlfriend Amelia loves sports. And so Amelia and I go to the baseball game quite a bit. And we have the best time. Amelia's son played baseball. Her daughter played softball at Princeton. And so she just loves it. And we just sit there and cackle and talk about Austin Riley and JD Martinez and all kinds of baseball players, because Orlando's tickets are right by the on deck circle for the visiting team. And so we get a nice close up view. But I love sports. My mom loved sports. And, I love all sports. I love soccer and basketball and baseball. Football is probably my least favorite for a couple reasons. They wear that helmet thing, and so I can't really see their face and get into the moment with them, number one. Number two, I can never get close enough. Like, no matter how great your seats are at a football game, you're just not close enough.
Right.
And
I don't even think I've been to a football game. If I have, I don't remember it.
Yeah. Football is, and then they hit each other, and I feel bad, and doesn't he hurt?
Right.
And, there's so many injuries. So football is my least favorite. But, I'll tell you, of late, I have been following Trevor Lawrence, who played for Clemson. Do you remember him?
Yes.
Okay, so
your assistant's daughter dated him and still does date him.
Well, they're married.
They're married, yes.
Yeah, and so,
ex-assistant.
Yeah, I love him. He's from Cartersville, Georgia. He went to Cartersville High School. And just getting to the way he's like loves on his guys and encourages them and brings out the best in his team. I really like him, and I like that coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So if I'm not going to be I'm a Falcons fan. I'm always a hometown fan.
Yeah, hello.
But if I'm going to cheer for another team, I've decided I'm going to cheer for Jacksonville.
Okay.
So I like them. And then, by default, I have to like those Dallas Cowboys because their outfit has a star. Yeah. So I like them. But, I decided I wasn't going to like that Tony Romo because he was mean to Carrie Underwood. And he always played for Dallas. He's long since retired, but I just can't get past him. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah, I'm not a big football person.
Where are we going, Vic?
So, okay, speaking of dating really quick, because I have a few younger friends that might have crushes on you. How young are you willing to date?
Well, it's funny. I am in a Facebook group, Georgia Singles.
Uh-huh.
And so I get a friend request from this guy yesterday, and I think maybe it's one of those fake profiles, you know, brigadier general, you know, whatever. I mean, they're always in the military or they're always a doctor, and they're these fake profiles, which I still don't understand why they want to be my friend. But anyway, I typically delete them. But
Facebook is probably the worst platform to start dating anybody.
Well,
I've heard.
So can I finish my story?
Yeah, go.
So
go for
anyway, so this guy DMs me, and I'm like, and we have no mutual friends. So I send him back a message, and I'm like, hey, I got your friend request. Do we know each other? And he's like, nope, not yet. And I'm like, okay. And you know, he said, whatever. And I'm like, so how do we know each other? And he's like, I saw you on Georgia Singles.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, okay. And so, you know, I thought that it was really bold that he would, you know, kind of Facebook friend request me. But, and he's 36 or 7, maybe 36. So how, you know, what is my age range? Age is, you know, like your chronological, is that right? Chronological or biological?
I don't know.
Well, your like age in years from your birthday is really unimportant to me.
Okay.
Because people are mature at different, and they mature in their life experience and what they've been exposed to. All of that is different. So it's not really how old you are in chronological years. It's much more to me, how old are you and your experiences and a life experience. So, you know, I don't mind dating younger. I think JD Martinez is 36, and Amelia and I have decided that we could make that work.
What are you guys going to do? Be in a throuple?
No, I mean, we would give him a choice. Like, he could have whichever one he wanted.
Wow.
And then the other one would just bow out and move on to the next one.
Okay.
But anyway, do you know there's only 2 guys on the Braves that are under 6 feet tall?
Really?
Yeah.
Are baseball players usually short?
I did not realize that the majority of baseball players are tall.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would have been a good hunting ground. I wish I had known that earlier. Anyway, I digress.
There's still time.
And there's still time. Of course, they're so young. But anyway, so, but no. I mean, younger or older. And, you know, and Bill was, goodness gracious, 15 or 16 years older than me. So, you know, I don't have an age cutoff, low or high. I think it would be weird to date somebody your age.
Okay, good.
Or younger.
I'm glad you said that. I was hoping you weren't going to say anybody in their 20s.
Yeah. No. I mean, I think it'd just be weird to me to date somebody younger than you.
Yeah.
But I think that, and older, I mean, I've dated guys that were, you know, in their 50s, and they felt like they were like a zillion years old. Mm-hmm. I've dated guys that were in their 60s that were, you know, wonderful. So I don't have an age range. I may or may not have somebody that I'm interested in currently.
Oh, goodness. Why? Did you meet him in Spain? She just got back from Spain. Guys, did you have any Spain flings?
I did not have any Spain flings, believe it or not.
I'm so sorry.
But...
So you didn't download Tinder in Spain?
I did not download Tinder in Spain. I actually, you know, I didn't think that would be the safest thing. And I am very intentional and purposeful with my life right now.
Okay.
I have a lot of professional goals. And that's one thing, is that a lot of the guys my age, they don't have any interest in me because I'm not looking to slow down. Mm-hmm. I'm not looking to, you know, be a fading winner or travel with somebody, you know, at their whim. I'm really that. I mean, I'd love to travel with somebody, but I'm looking for somebody who's excited about life, about their life and about my life and our life together. And if you're not excited about your life, I mean, so many of the people that I've met, they are just trying to get to retirement. They're just checking the box, just trying to get to retirement. And I'm just like, oh my God. Mentally, I can't relate to that. Like,
I can't see you like just bowing out and chilling out on your couch for like, you need to be in action, active on the scene.
yeah, I love being around people and traveling and out and about, even when I don't have anything to do, which is very rare. But even when I don't have anything to do, I typically will get out and about. I love to go to OK Cafe and have lunch at the counter. I love to go and, let's call it window shop. Just walk around and look at, look at the people. I love to people watch. Oh my gosh. And
I do too.
I love live music. I love live sports. I love to travel, all in good seats. So I'm not down to travel in bad seats. I don't have any interest in going to see Dancing with the Stars hanging from the rafters. I don't have any interest in going to a sporting event or a music event and sit on the lawn. Like, that is not my gig. Amelia and I went to a concert this week, and we had great seats, and we just had so much fun. Amelia is actually one of my only friends that I've ever traveled with. We went to Mexico, and we just had a great time. She doesn't need a babysitter. She doesn't need to be entertained, and she's just the nicest woman. So I feel very fortunate that I met her. We were going through a divorce at the same time.
Oh, I'm glad you guys have been able to connect, because I feel like for women, it's so hard to make genuine, long-lasting friends. I mean, you have a couple that you've been friends with forever, but
yeah. Tonight I'm going to a party with a bunch of my high school friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Kathy Rowe and I are going to go to a party. Our friend Beth Franklin from high school is moving back to Atlanta, and so we're going to go to a party for her. And Rebecca and Nikki, I think that they were the first people to send food after Lucas's accident.
And they sent really good food too.
Yeah, they did. And then, Deanna, of course, who I would never have made it through my mother's passing without my girlfriend Deanna. And Peggy Witt, I'll have lunch with her next week. So I have been abundantly blessed that the friends that I have kept over a lifetime, I've definitely been through a friendship cycle. I want to see the people that I love happy and do well. But I think that as women, for whatever reason, some women just aren't going to cheer for you. But I will tell you, building your network, building your corner, and I always say everybody in your circle isn't in your corner, building your corner of people that will support you and cheer for you and pick you up and be there for you. It's so critical. And to have other female friends. So for me, I've been so blessed because real estate has afforded me amazing female friendships.
Strong women too, which is good.
Strong, amazing women.
Why do you think I have struggled with maintaining good, genuine friendships?
Because people don't want to hear what you have to say. You are number one, when you think something, the first place that it shows is on your face. When somebody does something to piss you off, when somebody does something that you don't like, when somebody does something that you don't agree with, you do not disguise it. You also don't carry with you a lot of tact. So when you are translating your displeasure about something, you can be harsh. And you know, you are extremely loyal, and it's difficult and impossible for you to understand when people are not loyal. And I've told you this before. You never ever emanate from ill will. You never emanate. You never start with meanness. You never. I've never ever seen you attack someone. But when you feel attacked, you are no holds barred. I mean, you are, when you feel attacked, you come unglued. And it's really a testament probably to your loyalty and your goodness that make you come unhinged like that. But you are harsh. And most people don't want to hear that.
Right.
They just, I mean, they're not prepared. Mm-hmm. People are not prepared for the truth. But this is the thing, and this is what I want women, I want people to hear, listen to me when I say this. Someone who is truly your friend, someone who has your best intentions at heart, will talk to you, sit you down, talk to you in a manner that is constructive, number one. And number two, if they're not with you in the hard times, I mean, and really in the hard times, they should be stuck to you like glue. Mm-hmm. If they're not with you in the hard times, anybody can be with you in the good times. But if they're not stuck to you like glue in the hard times, you might as well just go ahead and get rid of them. It's just like weeding out the riffraff, because they're there to take, they're not there to give. And they're going to be gone at some point. You might as well get them out sooner rather than later.
I feel like we're definitely going to need to do a part 2 at some point.
Have
because
I talked too much?
I feel like we could just talk for hours. I didn't even have to pull my notes up to look at questions, which I had, but.
Oh, what questions do you have?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'd love to. Did we have any questions?
Let me look on Instagram.
Did you look
there were
on my, I should look on mine.
Yeah, look on yours too.
I gave people the opportunity to
ask anonymously. Is it a good time to buy a house? Let's make these a little bit rapid fires and not stories. Or lectures.
Is that possible?
It's going to have to be.
Hello, I'm Glennda Baker. Have you met me? I'm known for story time.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, wait 1 second.
But is it a good time to buy a house?
It's a good time to buy a house whenever you find the right house and the numbers work for you. Don't wait.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm. We talked about that. You've been sober for 7 years. Is it the best decision you ever made?
This year will be my 8th year.
Okay.
One of the best decisions I ever made in my life. Changed my life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I don't ever worry about doing stupid shit. I don't ever worry about people being able to embarrass me. I don't ever worry about embarrassing myself. And the health benefits have been amazing, obviously.
Okay, I'll let you share one of your questions.
Okay. What's your favorite book? So,
sex novel.
It's not, they're not sex, they're romance.
Have you read one single one of those romance novels where they didn't have sex? It's a sex book.
It is not. It is sultry. So right now I'm reading Molly McAdams, and I am reading Fire is the name of the book, Beau and Savannah. It is the 4th book in a series of 4, and the name of the series is Brood, and it's 4 brothers, the Dixon brothers, and I am so in love with all of them.
All the brothers?
All the brothers. But I'm on Bo now, and I posted it on my Instagram, and the author sent me a DM. But Adriana Locke is probably one of my favorite authors as well, and she had the Lawson family, and Barrett Lawson talks about grapes, and I've never been able to look at a grape the same since that book.
I don't know. I don't think I want to know what's been done with grapes.
I love the anonymous questions.
Give us a juicy one. We've been pretty deep on the podcast today. We need something to lighten it up a little bit.
What are your favorite style panties?
You don't wear thongs?
Well, I don't wear underwear if I can help it.
Are you wearing underwear right now?
No.
Oh my gosh. With jeans.
I have on pants.
Right.
Why would I need underwear?
Does it not irritate you?
No, it doesn't irritate me.
Okay. All right. If it works for you.
So my favorite style is no panties.
Free balling. That's your style. # free balling. Your favorite part of being a grandma?
When my grandson Callie FaceTimes me. Just loving on them. The hugs, the kisses. Glitter, when are you coming with the donuts?
It's always yelling.
Yeah.
It's never just
it's so interesting
gentle
to me
conversation.
That he has this very in your face style of communication.
I wonder who he gets that from. Okay, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so if Kris Jenner and Martha Stewart had a sister, I would hope that it would be me.
Martha Stewart and Kris Jenner?
Yeah.
Okay. Because are they good friends?
No, but I don't know if they're good friends. If they're not good friends, they should be, because they are probably two of the most ingenious, powerful women when it comes to building a brand, building a business, building a marketing machine that has ever been. Martha Stewart, 82 years old, on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Oh, yeah.
Best friends with Snoop Dogg, completely and totally reinventing her Westchester, her highbrow, upper class persona into this very, very, very relevant brand at 82. Kris Jenner, who is arguably the mastermind of marketing. The woman doesn't even have a website. I mean, think about that. She does not have a website. They don't hold inventory. They don't have any brick and mortar. They are literally running businesses, billion-dollar businesses. Their profit margin is insane. And you would be hard-pressed to find someone that doesn't know of the Kardashian-Jenner brand or a Kardashian-Jenner brand. Whether you like them or not, if you can't appreciate the business models that these two women have built, you're living under a rock. And I would argue that you aren't thinking clearly. So where do I see myself in 5 years? I think Kris Jenner is maybe 65. Martha Stewart's 82. I would love to follow in their footsteps. Real estate is not the only thing, Glennda, coming down the pike. Mm-hmm. There are lots of different opportunities and lots of different collaborations that I'm working on with a lot of different companies that I'm excited about.
Okay, well, I think you're only going to get better, bigger, and more of a badass than you already are. And I'm so excited that you came on the podcast and shared a lot of you. And this was so much fun. And we definitely need to do it again, because I didn't even get to ask you like anything about your sex life, which you're probably happy about, but I'm sure they would have really appreciated it. What's your favorite sex position? Go.
Oh my gosh, somebody asked me this. If you've only got one favorite sex position, you haven't had enough sex.
Okay. There you go. Where can we follow you?
Google Glennda, hashtag Google Glennda. You can follow me on your favorite platform. It's Glennda Baker, GLENNDABAKER. But really, it's just Google Glennda, and you can find me anywhere and everywhere.
Okay, amazing. I love you. Thank you so much for being on the podcast on Gossip Committee. I'll see you guys next week talking about my life, giving you an update. Did I pass the real estate exam or not? It's coming up soon.
It's not, did I pass? My name is Victoria Vasquez.
No, I'll be telling them if I passed or not. We're going to keep it a secret until the next time.
They should already know that you're going to pass because your name is Victoria Vasquez and you are going to pass the real estate exam next week.
There we go. There you have it, guys. Love you. Mean it. Bye.